This week, we're talking about interesting ideas that caught our attention. What's caught yours?
What I found really caught my attention lately was this documentary series from a company called Wistia out of Boston. The documentary series has the premise that if we took the same general idea, a 90-second promotional piece for Wistia's software, and we did it for a $1,000 budget, we did it for a $10,000 budget, and we did it for a $100,000 budget, how would that look different at the end, and how would the process be different? And I've always found this intersection of budget and quality very interesting, particularly in an era where within 10 feet of me I probably have 6 HD cameras that would have been of a quality I would have died for in the early part of my career.
Well, Wistia is an online company that creates video software for growing businesses. What was their ad about?
Their ad is about one of their pieces of software called Soapbox, which is a Google Chrome plugin so that you can record both the computer's camera and the screen at the same time. And then in the Soapbox software, you can lay out how you want those to go, whether you want to be on screen, whether you want the screen or some combination to go together. And so this is the piece of software that all three promotional pieces reference this software. They kind of build on each other, the three pieces, but they're all still a Soapbox promotional piece.
So tell me what they did. $1,000 for the production budget, production and post, $10,000 and $100,000. What did they do for $1,000?
Well, each one was shot in a day, and they're all done by Sandwich Video. So the same creative company did all three promotional pieces. For $1,000, you get one person for one day. You get an iPhone taped to the computer. You get shooting in carefully chosen but available light, and some very, very basic hand-cut-out paper graphics to carry the message.
So in other words, it looked really cheesy and cheap.
Well, no, it didn't. They actually managed to give it a fairly decent look. It didn't look cheesy and cheap, but when you see it in context of the higher budget pieces later, you really see its deficiencies. But standing up by itself, it doesn't feel like it's been done incredibly cheaply. It's certainly been done on a low budget, but it doesn't feel cheap.
All right, let's move up to the $10,000 version. What are the differences between that and the 1K version?
Same director, the person who was the solo person in the first one, but we get now a director and a crew of 9 people in total. We get a little bit classier camera, which is a Canon C300, and we get a lighting kit and somebody to look after the lighting and somebody to do professional audio. We do a little bit of lighting, but we don't do much set decoration. We do a bit of basic clothing and makeup and a lot of lighting, and that's what you get for $10,000.
So the 1K is working with available light. The 10K is working with more people, better audio, and better lighting.
That's pretty much it. Better gear all around and more people to have creative input. And, of course, when you get to $100,000, you get a lot more people. I think the crew on that one was about 30 people in total. And in that one, they completely rearranged the office. They had a set designer in to reposition everything. Artworks on the wall were all specially created for the promotional piece. They hired actors to play the same people that were in the second piece, which are the employees of Sandwich Video, and had a lot higher quality graphics, high quality lighting. They did completely black the place out and controlled every bit of the lighting. And some really classy graphics. You got custom written music, not library music, all the polish that you can possibly want. And you had an Arri Alexa for the camera with some very nice primes.
Clearly, the production quality of each of these improved from the low budget to the middle to the high. But what about the message? How did the message feel to you?
I think in every case, the message was really creatively done. And I think I want to really emphasize that the budget doesn't affect the story or the ability to communicate. All three pieces were effective. They were entertaining for the 90 seconds that they were to be watched. They just got more and more polished, I think is the way you'd say it. More and more attention to detail, more people involved, more people looking at what's in and around the frame, and more control over that, and more creative input from more people. The downside of that is lack of constraints.
Well, you run your own company, Philip. Let's pretend that you had the money to afford all three of these, and you were trying to make the decision of how to promote your own software, which is Lumberjack System. Given what you've seen with these three documentaries, where would you spend your money?
I would try and go to the $1,000 budget, but I think realistically, if you want to do something that does carry a message of a quality company, then I think the $10,000 budget price point is the sweet point for me. And it's pretty much what the three in-house video guys from Wistia came to as well, that the $10,000 gave them polish, and it gave them a look that they didn't otherwise get, and that they didn't get in their own productions, but that the $100,000 gave you, which is 10 times more. So you could do 10 productions at the 10K level for what the $100,000 production cost. It provided a lot of polish and a lot of gloss, but they didn't feel that it provided the best bang for buck. And I think I feel the same way.
Let's take a global look at this just for a second. Wouldn't that be a contributing factor to why budgets are decreasing, because we can get so much good video quality and good audio for smaller budgets?
Yes, it was interesting to see that, although the quality of the camera went up, the actual additional daily rental on, a C300 versus an Arri Alexa and the Extra Primes wasn't a significant part of the increased budget. What the increased budget went was on set design, it went on costume, it went on actually getting casting and paying actors, it went on a lot more lighting, a lot bigger crew. It didn't necessarily go on better image quality. I think they got more out of the professional grade of the video than they got out of the Alexa over the C300. I think if they put the same money into grading the C300, we would have got a lot closer.
So what's your takeaway as you look at these three? What's the lesson that we can learn from this?
Two lessons that we can learn from this is that, one, story still counts over the technology, always, and hopefully always will. But the second was that a lack of constraints actually was considered to be a hindrance to the creative message rather than a help. That the fact that, when you went from $10,000 to $100,000 budget, you just jumped in so many more possibilities. You could do all these crazy things that maybe don't always enhance the story. Maybe superhero movies could learn a lesson from that as well.
One of the things I was impressed with is Claude, who's the director and was the actor for the $1,000. As he said, when you're doing a $1,000 commercial, what you're doing is you're getting rid of everything that doesn't relate to your message. And it really helps to focus you on what is the most important thing you want the audience to learn. He found it creatively challenging because one of the quotes that he had that I saw that I liked a lot was the fact he didn't think you could shoot a video for less than $10,000, and so he took the $1,000 video just as a personal challenge. And he said what it did is it focused so much of my attention down to what's the essential, that to me it strikes me as your point. It gets down to what's the real story you're trying to tell.
Yes, and the budget doesn't really impact that as much as you would think it does. Effectiveness of it, having to focus on getting the most succinct message you can with the least amount of investment is always a challenge. And I think we all grow creatively when we're placed into these corners of having to deal with limitations. I think the worst thing for creativity is to have no limitations.
I send nasty emails off to companies that say, remove all the boundaries. Unlimited creativity is about the worst thing you can say to an artist, because now there's so many options, they don't even know where to start.
Yes. Can't even chase down all the creative opportunities they want to, suddenly have even more to chase down. It's like, oh, no, don't do that to me. Give me constraints, give me limitations, because I will thrive within them.
Well, that's the truth. Philip, where's the website people can go to watch these videos?
It's at wistia.com, and click the series link and go down to 110-100.